Hello, everybody. My name is Vladimir. I'm from Russia, St. Petersburg. I'm 37 years old. My job is I'm screenwriter. Also, I'm doing YouTube since 2012. Also, I'm doing linguistic. It's my hobby. So I want to share with you with my real, very, really interesting experience which happened to me. So first of all, I want to mention one movie I watched when I was a kid. It calls like Lawnmower Man. Maybe you know. This is real, like really famous American movie of 19th. So in that movie, like main character, he was like tried to get out from his body because he wants to kind of be a god or something like that. So and when I was a kid, this has really touched my heart. Like I was really thinking, like I wanna always want to go beyond the boundaries of my body, my mind, my personality. So I decided I want to get like kind of mission which I go through life. My life will touch eternity. And in this movie, they have so many like symbols of spiritual teaching called Kabbalah, and so I start to research about Jewish religions. So start to read Torah. I'm not Jewish. I'm Orthodox Christian, actually, originally. So I start to be really interested about religions, like not only one religion, like Christianity or Judaism, are just about everything, about Buddhism, especially, and yoga, and anything which I could reach by my like mind. I tried to research, but main things it was of course Kabbalah and Buddhism. And so I start to like drill Kabbalah so hard. Like I start to research like techniques. I start to try to understand everything what this book said about. It's not a religion. It's maybe like some religion science, if you can say like that. So in the same time I was studying Buddhism, and so I read so many books. I read this and that, and like maybe like about 40 books I read. And it was time when it was a peak of my knowledge. So, but something was lost. I need something more, like maybe new techniques or something. Like, and in 2018, I started to try meditation, and I tried so many techniques and start to focus like on a dot on a wall, on a flower, start to visualize something, try to focus on the sounds, but nothing works at the time. And I was like kind of disappointed. So I didn't get any like spiritual experience at all, like just nothing. I was like sitting in my bathroom, like I didn't receive nothing. And everything happened like in 2022 in the summer, July. I decided, so like from this time, I will just practice real things. So and that time I was reading the books of Veda, Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. This is Hinduism books. So I also like studied Hinduism so hard too. So and my mind was full of this images of like a Krishna and these Hinduistic deities, and it was like a kind of romantic for me. So and I decided, okay, from now I want to really achieve something. Really, I want this. I want to know truth. I wanted to my consciousness go beyond my body. Like I felt kind of, it's really interesting because I always felt like my consciousness want to pop out from my head, not. I felt like limitness of this body always, and I start to do so many religious rituals from yoga. It was Agni yoga, maybe you know this, and I start to pray like a classic Orthodox priest in a Russian church. And also I start to do Buddhist meditation, like everything at the same time from all of the religions. I collect everything. I start to do this every day, like every day, sometimes like 6 hours before taking a like lunch. I pray before taking breakfast, everything. I was like say like a god, you tried my food first. after I will take this food after you, like after I start to pray, like Lord prayer. After that, I start to do like another ritual. So many rituals, and I was strongly was believing I will achieve something, and I was like feeling it's something not enough, and I start to try meditation again because before it doesn't work. So I sat down on this sofa. That time I watched Sadhguru meditation. Ishakriya's. It's really good. I really suggest you to try this. Sadhguru is a really good guy. So, but it was different. Yogin is a Russian one. His name Dada Sadananda. So I tried just like 30 minutes video clip like from YouTube. It's meditation for beginners. And I sat down on sofa. I was listening the whole video, and they have like a instruction. First do this, second you do this, and like read the mantra. And I said, okay, let's try. So I sat down, and first I was in need to visualize myself in the space. No, I'm not. I don't need to. Just I could visualize everything, like just the place. And I sat down and started visualizing myself, like sitting in the space, and I start to read the mantra. It's called Bhavanam Kevalam. Maybe it's familiar for you. I don't know. I start to read this mantra. I was repeat and repeat and repeat this mantra. Bhavanam Kevalam, Bhavanam Kevalam, Bhavanam Kevalam. And suddenly something changed. Like I was in a space, like sitting, like in a lotus position, classic like yoga's position for meditation. And in my mind, in that time, God was a Krishna. For different people, God is different. God, it may be Jesus or something, another deity. Anyway, at that time, it was a Krishna. And I believe in Jesus too, also. Not a problem for me. And like a suddenly figure of the Krishna, and I was sitting like in a lotus position in the space. He was like back of his spine was connect to me like this, and he was also sitting in a lotus position. He was sitting, and we start to spinning around like this, like watches, and we're spinning and spinning and spinning and spinning, and I will keep continue Babalam, Babanam Kevalam, Babanam Kevalam, and I was continue to repeat that words, that mantra, and suddenly together we disappeared in space, like we just disappeared. And from that time, it become so calm, like absolutely calm. But it's like when people training in video, and after that, my face was, I don't know how to explain that. Just I saw myself, like my doppelganger, and he was watching at me. It was so strange. I was like, "Whoa, what's that?" And he was watching at me. And now I'm with beard, right? And he was without beard, and he smiled to me like, and smiling with like happy face. And also this like face of my doppelganger is disappeared, and after that God came in my reality, but he was without shape. It just was a feeling which I never felt before in my life, like never, entire my whole life. And from that time I start to see the pictures. I start to see our earth, our planet. It was in space, in a big blue planet with clouds, and it was spinning around by her axis, our Earth. And I was laying down right on our planet, like this, laying down on sofa. It was so I was like thinking, what's that like? And God tell me, you're cosmic spirit, which now living in this body on this planet, and this is one of your favorite planet, which you're like to live and reincarnate again and again, and you can go anywhere where you want, different planet, different galaxy or dimension or world, doesn't matter. And I'm always waiting you in our home. And that time I know like everybody like telling about unconditional love, but I was crying so intensely. I just couldn't explain now how intense it was. It was just two rivers of tears from my eyes. It was absolute enlightenment. And it was like everybody saying like more than love of your parents. It was like I'm sleeping baby in my room. Maybe I'm a 2 years old, and it's like your real parent come to your room, open the door, and saying, "Can I come, my child?" Like so soft, so gently, and I felt like it's everything for you. I'm existing for you, only for you, everything for you. And I was like, I'm just crying and crying nonstop. I was just crying 10 minutes. I couldn't stop because it was so intense. It was like when Holy Spirit touches you, it's undescribable. So, and next I was like, want to really like God confess my sins at that time because I really want to, like, like you go into the church, go into the priest and saying every sin which you done in other people. And I had a big problem in my life because I was a big sinner. I thought, like, I saying to God, like, please, dear God, forgive me my sins because I cheated to so many girls. It is my most biggest sin in my life. Like I was like had many girls again and again and dropped everybody and broke so many people's hearts. Just disgusting behavior. And God told me there is no sin, my child. He's not saying, it's like just feeling. And I was like, really? And he said, yes, it's like human conception. Human create this idea of sin. It was so real. Like I always wants to obtain absolute wisdom, absolute truth, know everything. Like it was my goal of my life. So I asked, what I should I do next? And he said, do just what you want because you already know how this world works. So it's like sandbox. Like you have two different people. One people have their own like way or path from childhood. For example, Nikola Tesla, he will be 100% physician. Another guy like Albert Einstein, he will be also physician, or like piano guy, like he will be like musician or else like. But in other people, they can decide many things in their life. And he said, "This is you." I said, "Yeah, okay, I understand." And after he said, "You will be obtained something more," and I said, "Oh, really? Okay." So after that happens a really bad thing to me. I worked so really hard and I had a FIB episode, atrial fibrillation of heart because I overworked and I drank so many coffee. It's my biggest mistake of my life. And like ambulance brought me to the hospital and I was really disappointed, about the God because after like this big enlightenment in my life. Like I like a half of the year I was praying like a few hours in a day, do these old rituals like meditations, and that like disgusting thing happened to me. Like I was feel like I was betrayed by God, like he betrayed me. I said like you're my real father, like, and you feel like this is your real father. It's like you cannot confuse this feeling with anything else. This is your real father, holy father. And I thought you betrayed me, like, and I went to this hospital and only old people was around me because it happened mostly like 99% with old people. And I thought, oh, my life will be not so long from today. Like, and I was laying down on my like hospital bed and I opened the YouTube and the first video where I discover that so crazy moment. It was about ND experience. And woman who described her experience was exactly that experience. I had like the same experience in meditation, in my meditation, which I had before. She had this experience. It was like, oh my God, like, and from her perspective, I understood everything. Like I decide this is every like event in my life which happened before it because I decide that. I was like, wow, like God suggest me YouTube channel. And now I understand. And I understand one more thing. He cannot stop this. Like this our decision to go to Earth. He cannot like correct our way or something, be involved in that somehow. Like, and he feels just like sorry, like you decide that, my child, like I love you, but I cannot like just do nothing for this. So I was like, oh, I understand. I came back to my home. I quit to drink coffee. I don't have any bad habits before I had, but now I'm absolutely clean guy. Like even now, coffee, not no energy drinks. Even I tried to stop eat like candies, like even that. So and after which God said me, you will obtain absolute truth. He gave me this truth. I swear to God, I can't do like this. Like I never heard this from anywhere, any site, any video, any book. So suddenly some information came to my brain. Like we're all gods actually. And how it happened. Like nobody can involve in this process in your life. So most like monotheistic religions say like, oh, sometime long time ago God decided, oh, I will create the humans, like or in Eden garden, Adam and Eve, and they will have a kids and humanity will like start to like grow and blah blah blah. No. So there is no time when God was just one God. Why? It's because if you say like main God, he wants to do free will for another the same creature like him, same being. And some to create this being, he have to obtain absolute freedom, free will. And if you want to do that, you need to make same God like you, like a $100 and $100 like same. Just imagine like a two like light bulbs. This is two gods, right? But there's these dimensions don't have a time. It's really difficult to figure out. I'm sorry. Imagine two like light bulbs. This is already two gods exist, right? With the same free will, the same eternity inside of themselves. So they can create anything, like create the universes, reality, dimensions, everything, like even so many types of consciousness. They can do whatever they want, and they have a free will, and they cannot destroy each other. Yeah, like people in the earth, they can destroy each other because one, he's more smarter than anybody, or I have more money, or like anything like physical power. In that dimension, God cannot destroy the gods. So it was in no time when God decided he will create his doppelganger, another God. It was always was like we had eternal numbers of gods who eternity inside of themselves and have their own free will and personality. So doesn't have a time or dimension when God decide to create some. It was always like that, and everything like suddenly like pop in my mind. Like this is absolute. He like asked me, "You wanted to before obtain absolute truth? You got it." So your soul actually, this is a God. So you're a God who decide to live in a human body with amnesia. You don't remember, just like you don't remember that. Of course, you have previous lives and you will be live more eternal in other lives. But now, here, you don't remember that because you decide to like delete your memory because it will be not interesting, right? If you go to like a roller coaster, if you like just see roller coaster like and you know everything what happened, it is not interesting and you will not watch a movie if you will know like all storylines and already like feel all emotions from this movie. Like this is not interesting for you. Like same with our lives. When we die, we know everything already immediately, of course, and our memory come back, and we understand everything, know everything. But now this is, I will say that holy amnesia for experience human life and experience many events like which happen between each other. Like yeah, so I had multiple really interesting experience about I saw the heaven one time. I remember when I was meditating, I was praying to God, show me a little bit like part of the heaven, and he asked me which heaven because so many heavens exist eternity. I was like a maybe Hinduistic, and for just half of the second, I saw my hand underwater, like carrying this so beautiful flower. I cannot even describe that. These colors. It was just a moment, and it was just disappeared. And I immediately start to cry. Again, of course, because it's too beautiful. It's too beautiful. So I really suggest you please try meditation. Please try. This is undescribable. And it doesn't matter like what are your religion, it's Islam or Orthodox Christianity or Judaism or practicing yoga or you're Buddhist, it doesn't matter. It's absolute bliss. So yeah, it was my experience of enlightenment. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.